Welcome to the Queen's Lair, a lifestyle podcast. Get inspired by our latest tips and information about small business, entrepreneurship, natural hair, travel, food, and even relationships. Stay tuned for another great episode. I am your host, Renee Patrice. It's 1:27 a.m., January 27th. And I don't even know if I'm going to upload this. Interesting. 127 on 127. I just realized that. You can't plan that stuff. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to upload this, but I might. So I'll record it. Just some of my thoughts on loss. As by now, the world knows that we lost a legend and icon, Kobe Bryant, which just sounds so ridiculous to even say out loud. He was only 41. As well as his daughter, Gianna, who was only 13. As well as one of Gianna's teammates and her teammates, both of her parents, as a matter of fact. 9 people total that were their lives just snuffed out. And it's kind of crazy, you know? And I really can't sleep. And it's extremely sad. But I know when things like this happen, we say it's sad and we say our prayers and we give strength to the families, because those are the go-to phrases that we tend to use, because I use them today on my social media. But I don't know how much we really invest in looking out for one another and supporting one another, so that people can know how you really feel about them. You know, they have that expression, give me my flowers now, you know, because that's a thing that you do when people pass. You give flowers and, you know, and there's that saying that says, give me my flowers now, meaning celebrate me now, you know. And it's so true, because these were 9 lives that just, they had no idea when they set out, got up this morning to, you know, travel and go to a game, that this is what would be the outcome. You know, and I don't think we appreciate life the way that we should, the gift that it is. And there's been like this saying going around today on Instagram saying that, you know, leaving the house, and I'm paraphrasing it, trying to remember what it is, but leaving the house and returning safely is something that we take for granted. And again, I'm paraphrasing what the exact quote was. But it is so, we don't think about it. We get up in the morning, we jump in the car to go to work. There's a lot of miles between your home and your job. You know, anything can happen. And I posted on my Instagram earlier this evening saying that, you know, as kids, I remember my mom, anytime we were going to travel, whether we were leaving the house to go to travel or if it was something that your cars you know, like, that's just what you did. You prayed before you left and you asked for traveling mercies. And that was my mom's thing. Still her thing to this day. If I go home, you know, to visit, you know, especially during Christmas, you know, before you're leaving, she'll say a word, you know, and I appreciate it. As a kid, I don't think I really appreciated it, especially if your friends were there. It was kind of embarrassing because it's like, oh, my mom is praying again, you know, that kind of thing. Because as a kid, you don't get it, you know. As a kid, and then also you're not a parent, so you don't understand, you know, that mentality. And I really am just, I'm so upheavaled by this whole thing. This is like the 1-2 punch with Nipsey Hussle, you know, not too long ago, you know, people that just make major differences. And it's not that they were perfect, because no one is perfect. And everyone has gone through things. And I really, my spirit is just not resting at all. I think, well, I know people feel like it's cliche to say, you know, hug your loved ones a little longer and, you know, that sort of thing. And I'll tell you, I don't think it's cliche at all. I think it's so true. I know that one thing that I said last year going into 2020, and we're just in the first month of 2020. And I know I said last year going into this new year, new decade as well, is that I don't want to regret not going after a goal or a dream, or, you know, saying all the things that I want to say to people, or, you know, just not being afraid to put myself out there. If I appreciate what somebody brings to the table, I'm going to say something about it. If I love the way someone, you know, sings or speaks, or their show or whatever, I'm gonna let them know. You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate it when people get in my DMs and say, hey, I love your podcast, you know, you really helped me. Like, there are several people who I need to say that to, and I'm gonna make sure that I do it. You know, like, you really have to celebrate people now, your loved ones, you know, celebrate them, because tomorrow is not promised at all. It's just not. And to see, I don't even know, I wouldn't know where to begin. People tend to think that I give, great advice, and I'm like, I can speak to anyone, and I guess that's true. I mean, but I wouldn't even know where to begin to even speak to the Bryant family, Kobe's wife, Vanessa, and her 3 girls, that she is going to have to move forward in life without her daughter Gianna and her husband. Like, I don't even know where you even begin. The only solace that I can pick from it is that Kobe is with one of his girls. You know what I mean? We never want to see, anything tragic like this to any young people. But one of his girls, they at the very least, they have each other. And, Vanessa's going to have to, she's going to have to draw strength from God, her family, her support system, her children. It's going to take a lot. So if you know her personally, you just got to lift her up. If you know anyone that has dealt with anything like she has, you got to lift them up, because there are mothers all over the world who have lost a child, a husband, loved one, whatever it is. And these 3 girls, these 3 kids are going to navigate this world without their dad, and the 2 youngest ones will, quite honestly, not remember him on their own. They're going to have to be taught to remember him. So that's going to be another layer. That's going to be tough as well. And my deepest condolences to the entire family unit, the extended family unit of that girls' basketball team. Everybody's hashtagging Mamba mentality. And I tell you, I can't even imagine. And to Gianna's teammate, she too taken away. And both of her parents as well. Like, it's just, it's kind of, it's unspeakable, really. But I can only give my condolences and my prayers for them, because it definitely hits home if you are, in the millennial age, or, you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, that kind of thing, maybe even in your 50s, like you grew up, with Kobe Bryant playing, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan. These were our icons, that we looked up to, not because they were perfect or anything like that, but these were the folks that we grew up watching play, Shaq, all of these folks, these are the folks that we grew up seeing on the court, and they were like regular roundaway cats who made it, to the NBA. And it was so cool to see, the regular folks just make it, and it was just, it's always great to see them play, and of course Kobe, well decorated athlete in every sense of the word. So I'm up. I'm probably going to be up probably another hour or so. I don't know, maybe I'll get tired, but I just wanted to just share my thoughts on this, and for us to really, as a people, I don't care where you're from or whatever, just as a people, just to do all the things that you wanted to do, all the things that you want to accomplish. Don't hold back on it, all the things that you've been procrastinating on. You want to travel, different continents, you want to see different countries, travel. That family member that you haven't talked to in umpteen or whatever time, call them, because it's not worth it. That grudge you holding, it's not worth it. That it's just not. It's not worth it. If you love someone for their craft, like I said, if you love their show, if you love how they sing, if you loved a book that you read, let them know. Let them know. Because it's so important to give people their flowers now, So I know I know in LA they're 3 hours earlier, so here it's going on to 2 a.m. But in LA, and this was Grammy night as well, and that's just a whole other layer as well. But my thoughts are definitely with LA, the Lakers, just the NBA in general. This affects a lot of people, no matter how you feel about professional sports and how they treat their play. This is not the time for all of that. This is the time to lift up these families who in the next week or two are going to be burying their loved ones. And we need to keep them lifted up. And if you have experienced loss and you're not dealing with it well, or it still sits on you a certain way, go get help. Make Google your best friend. Therapy near me. Just Google it. Find an organization. Go to your local church. Whatever it is. And find a community of people that will rally around you. If you have a whole bunch of people around you that ain't about nothing, they ain't moving, they ain't doing nothing, it's time for you to get out that circle and bring people around you who are going to celebrate you and build, not tolerate you, celebrate you and build you up. Have a great community around you, not just people that never have any opposition. This is about accountability. When you have good people around you who speak life into you and keep you accountable, even when you don't want to hear it, even when you think it's them talking down, accountability makes you strong. Accountability gives you character. Accountability keeps you on the path. Accountability keeps you on the path to greatness. So, none of us out here are perfect. None of us. But like I said, if you admire something in someone, let them know. It could be your words that makes their day. It could be your words. Sometimes people are struggling. It could be your words that save their life. We're mourning the loss of a man that in 41 years, he's lived like 10 lives. just in 41 years. He's touched so many different lives. That's a legacy like none other. So you got to think to yourself, what will your legacy be? What dreams will you go after? Because you don't know what tomorrow is going to hold. So think to yourself, what are the things that you really want to do? And if you can't do it on your own, go to that trustworthy community and ask for help. And keep your good people that got your back, keep them close, because let me tell you something. People that really have your back, and people that'll really tell you the truth, and people that'll really ride for you, it is not as common as it used to be back in the day. It's very hard to find that really dope squad to have around you who's gonna lift you up. It's very hard to find. That's in business relationships, that's in personal relationships, all of it. So I just wanted to share my thoughts. I didn't even think I was gonna make it this long, but if you want to connect with me on social media, feel free. I am at Onyx Queen Media on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. But Instagram, I'm the most active on, and that's what I will be using the most going into 2020. If you want to email me, we can have conversations that way as well. Email me if you have any questions, something that you want me to cover, topics on my podcast. info@onyxqueenmedia.com. Again, info@onyxqueenmedia.com. I'll talk to you soon, you guys. Bye. Hey, Naturalistas! Our 6th annual Blackberry Naturals Spring Brunch is coming on March 21st, 2020. This is an exclusive brunch for ladies who want to meet, greet, learn, and shop with our hand-picked VIP vendors. Come and recharge your spirit for Women's History Month. We will be honoring powerhouse female bosses. So bring your business cards and come network with us. Your registration includes a beautiful brunch, branding roundtable. We're going to shop, we're going to meet, we're going to learn, a wonderful swag bag, free parking. You got to make it. We're going to be in Dunwoody, Georgia. Join us. Register now. www.blackberrynaturals.com. See you in the spring.